Hello, everyone. Kim Victoria here, and these are my latest journals that I made this week. I've followed exactly for two of these Natasha of Treasure Books on YouTube, and the link will be in the description below because that's the best way to learn something is to follow instructions exactly and then go off on your own tangent. So let me flip through these. These will be available on my Etsy shop and show you what I did based on her inspiration, which, of course, I have different paper and different embellishments. So let's take a look inside. So this is the first one I made, and it's all 6x6 paper. I had two paper pads that made all three of these journals, and I nary had a scrap left when I was done. So here we go. This one stands up really nice. And that's what I was thinking with the first two is I didn't put a closure on them. I was thinking, well, they're so cute. They could just stand up on a shelf and pull it down when you want to write something in it. So yes, this is following her instructions to the letter, and we'll just go through it quickly. And oh, this was the one that I found this book at a thrift store and it was utterly falling apart, but I picked it up, for a couple of dollars and I went, well, we enjoy Shel Silverstein's books. His poetry is fun and whimsical and he does fun drawings. So this book was utterly falling apart. The spine was already separating from the pages and the pages were separating from each other. So it was either going to go to the dump or it was going to get repurposed. So I picked out some cute ones to go in this particular journal and just make use of it. So that's one of his illustrations, one of his poems, and it made a nice little pocket. So obviously, if there was a poem on the other side of the page that maybe I didn't like as much, then I could easily use the side I did like. So the fun thing about these 6x6 journals is they're based on pockets. So you have lots of little pockets for things. That's his illustration, and I just made a little drawing based on what was sitting on the table here. Journaling spots, definitely. And I thought that was fun. I could just kind of nest that smile in there. Some offcuts, and it's just a little mini book. Journaling spot, journaling spot, a little tuck spot. One of his fun illustrations, more writing spots. And with all the art I make, I always include an information sheet, what inspired me, any things I want to share, and just share that with whoever winds up with my art. So that's something you'll find with all of my art, whether it's a painting or one of these journals. This was an illustration in the book, so it just opens the opposite direction. And that opens in the normal direction. It's one of his illustrations. Some more writing spot. And another little mini book. So this was number one, and it's exactly the way she makes it with, some of my embellishments. So there's number one. Let's go on to number two. Here's 6x6 journal number two. Again, I didn't give it a closure because I thought it was so cute, just kind of standing up. And I had two pieces of paper that were the same design, so I decided that would be a nice cover. I thought that looked nice. I got out all of my flowers and my flower punches so that I could create a theme here. And Natasha on Treasure Books also has a video where she uses punched out shapes. So I'll put that one in the description box. I'll definitely put the links to her videos in the description box down below. That's a mini book, and you can, of course, Give you lots of places to write. Another little mini book. So I did have fun with punched out shapes. More writing space. Could definitely write on this. This is a little belly band kind of tuck spot. I thought this was cute just when I cut this down and just folded it back. I went, well, that looks like a shirt. Okay. Another little mini book. Tuck spot. More writing space. And one last tag. So there is 6x6 journal number 2. And here is just a quick interlude to show you what my tabletop looked like before I did these videos. So there's the 6x6 journal number 1 and journal number 2 and everything that I was working with. And you're not even seeing the extent of it, what was on the right and the left. I make a mess. So I just thought you might enjoy seeing a little bit of that goes into making these. And this is the third 6x6 journal. And after making 2 of them, I decided to play around a little bit, which Natasha always suggests. So I did. I added a full cover from a 12x12 piece of scrapbook paper, cut it in half, glued the 2 halves together so it would be sturdy. And I started from that point, although I didn't put that on until the very end. I went in and I made the book the same as instructed with some differences. So I was fiddling a little bit. I did not record my fiddling, but it worked out really well. Instead of having page 1 have a loose hinge, I kept that hinge available to glue to this cover. So instead of having that available for the next page, I changed it up and made this second page have a hinge. I think that's what I did. Golly, yes, I think that's what I did is I added the hinge for this. I don't quite remember how I did it. Oh, golly. Well, I worked it out because I just fooled around and made it work. So this is the same as the treasure book's instruction. And this is before I did my embellishments, obviously. So I wanted to show that. And then this normally would have been page 17, but I turned that into a pocket on this side and I added another little bookmark holder. So this would be 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. So that's how many pages are in it. And so then I applied the cover and glued it to the hinge from page 1 and wrapped it around. And when wrapping it around, I had some extra come around, so I just folded this back. I'm going to add a closure. So that's what it looks like without anything added. Okay. This one I did give a closure to because it does stand up nice, but it's a little bit fatter. So I put a book plate inside instead of on the front. And I'm calling this one Hearts and Flowers because that's what I focused on. Writing space, rubber stamp. I always like to get my rubber stamps in somewhere. I have a nice collection. There's a little mini book. And all the tea dyed paper. I love dyeing paper. You get such an interesting texture, and it even changes the paper a little bit. So it has a different sound. I thought that was rather fascinating when I started dyeing paper, how the sound changed. So I made sure there was lots of journaling spots. And you can write on that, of course. It's light enough. And this one folds down. And that's the punch from there. This was the cover to one of those 6x6 paper packs. And I thought, wow, it's a nice sturdy piece of card. Make a great tag. So this would be if you go to watch her video and tutorial, this would be the equivalent of page 17, which is what I did in the other two journals. But instead of cutting it off, I kept it going. If you watch her video, you'll understand. So I just kept going for a few more pages. And here's a little waterfall journal. I stapled it to the cardstock and then glued it to the page. And one last tag. And another little book. So lots of places to write. I think it's a very cute journal. It was fun. So there is number 3, and this is securely attached there. So if you like to make journals, you can always use 12 by 12 scrapbook paper and cut it into quarters and be able to do the same thing. And I hope you're inspired. Thank you very much for watching. And these are in my Etsy shop. They're available. And I hope you'll join me for my next video. Thank you. All right. Bye for now.